English across the pond. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of English Across the Pond, a podcast for you, an English language learner or teacher, brought to you by me, Jennifer from the US, and my good friend Dan from the UK. This podcast will connect you to natural English and real conversations. To improve your English even more with us in this episode, make sure you download the transcript. You can follow along with what we say, and you can get that transcript at EnglishAcrossThePond.com/gold, EnglishAcrossThePond.com/GOLD. Now today we are talking about something that every single human communicator needs, and that is small talk. We'll go into small talk in this episode and help you understand more of it. However, before we begin this episode, we want to tell you about Italki. This episode is sponsored by Italki, an online language learning platform connecting you to personal and customized one-on-one English lessons. You can have the human connection you need to improve your fluency with these one-on-one lessons. English Across the Ponders get a special deal, so head to our website for more. So, Dan, hello, how are you on this fine day?
I'm absolutely fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing really well. How's the weather? It's a beautiful day, isn't it?
Yeah. Cloudy. It's all right.
Yeah. So we started this episode, and we start a lot of our episodes with a little bit of small talk, right? What is small talk?
Small talk is the inconsequential, unimportant, or apparently unimportant chat that we have with people, maybe just to fill some time, to fill some space. It's not a business meeting, it's maybe when there's a break in the business meeting, or it's not your teacher talking to you, it's when the teacher has a little break and you're just sitting with them and you kind of talk about nothing.
So small talk is literally a little conversation about little unimportant things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we need it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course we do. Yeah, we need it a lot. And I think I also think some countries and some people are better at it than others. And some people love to natter, to chit-chat, to shoot the breeze. I love small talk. And of course we need it. Yeah, it oils the cogs of life.
Love that expression.
Yeah.
In what situations do we need it? Let's talk about, when's the last time you experienced small talk?
The last time I had small talk was in a shop. It happens a lot in the UK. I think England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, I think we are small talk kind of people. So I just got chatting with this lady. We were laughing together, talking about nothing really, but it was fun. I like small talk.
Yeah, I like it too. I think it's interesting.
When was the last time you engaged in a little bit of banter?
A little bit of banter. I went to a mommy group with a friend of mine, and there were several other moms there. And so obviously I was like friends with the girl that I went with, and we were friends, but she kind of left as we were all leaving. And so it was kind of the end bit of conversation with people that were kind of strangers, but I just spent like an hour with them with our kids. And so we definitely had the so what do you do? And that really, it was like the perfect example of small talk.
Cool. And are you comfortable with small talk?
I am pretty comfortable with small talk. I think I'm pretty good at it. I'm able to, maintain the conversation with a good flow, I think.
Yeah. Professional.
As teachers,
yeah,
we have to do it a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah. Well, I took the words right out of your mouth.
I think as a teacher, there are times when you actively teach small talk. And there are times when you're just sort of having a chat, but you do this a lot with the students. Of course, if some come in at 9 o'clock and some come in at 2 minutes past 9, you can't really start teaching. So you end up with like, how was the weekend? How are things with your family? Etc., etc. So yeah, I think teachers are maybe natural small talkers.
Yeah, I definitely I purposely incorporate it in some of my lessons just to kind of allow students to be more comfortable with it. Because if you are living in an English speaking country, then I can say without a doubt, 100% certainly, you are going to engage in small talk with someone. Small talk.
Small talk.
I was from New York there for a second.
Small talk.
Small talk. So small talk, you are in an elevator with someone.
Yeah.
In line at the grocery store.
Queuing in the shop.
Queuing in the shop. At the water cooler with a colleague.
Yeah. We don't have water coolers.
You don't?
Not really.
Interesting. Well, in the cafeteria at work.
Yeah, that's more like it. Yeah. Shooting the breeze, chatting, and like it's something that I think I really like it, and I engage other people in it. I sort of like harass people and attack them verbally and say "lovely day" or whatever, say something to them, and I often start up a conversation. So yeah, I am guilty of initiating small talk.
Let's talk about common topics and no-nos.
Yeah.
What are some common topics for small talk?
Well, everybody knows. Of course, it begins with W and it ends in ether, the weather.
And it rhymes with ether, yeah.
Yeah, we're always talking about the weather, of course. And there are reasons for this. It's a very safe topic. It's not going to tread on anybody's toes. You're not going to embarrass anybody. But also, it's something that we all share. It's right there in front of us. If you ask somebody other small talk topics, it could be maybe about family. And then maybe the person says, I'm sorry, but I'm not married. I haven't got any siblings. And you think, oh, sorry about that. But obviously people can't say, I'm sorry, I haven't got any weather.
Yeah, somebody has some kind of something to say about weather, absolutely.
Yeah.
Other topics could definitely be the Ford method. Have you ever heard of the Ford method?
Never heard of the Ford method. What's that?
Ford, F-O-R-D, family, occupation, recreation, and dreams.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah. So you kind of mentioned family might be a touchy subject.
Yeah.
But, something really light. Do you have any siblings? Like, oh, does your family live nearby? Like, things like that they're okay.
Yeah.
So I think those common topics, weather, fun, hobbies, recreation, right? Really unimportant topics.
And you said occupation. What was Ford again? Family?
Occupation, recreation, and dreams.
And recreation being like free time, yeah?
Hobbies, yeah.
And dreams, I presume, not as in, what did you dream last night?
What was your dream last night? No, my husband tells me that's very boring conversation because even he doesn't like hearing about my dreams.
Oh, yeah. So dreams as in like hopes and ambitions.
Goals.
Yeah, cool. Nice.
There are definitely small talk no-nos. Conversations to be avoided. As you said, conversations to avoid treading on somebody's toes.
Yeah. Well, shall I say one?
Yeah.
I think politics, really. There's a lot going on in politics in my country at the moment. Anyone who's even vaguely aware with Brexit and Theresa May and we're in, we're out, Scotland's in, Scotland's out. It's something that people who know each other talk about all the time, but to bring it up, hi, how are you? Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. What about? Who's just, no, it's just wrong. It's just a very difficult subject. It gives people a headache. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing to talk about or a wrong thing to talk about, but like bringing it up when you've just first met someone, no.
So politics in general are just like controversial?
Well, politics in general, it's kind of personal, it's kind of private, and it's not really that light-hearted or fun, I mean, if you've just met somebody, the minimum damage you'll do is coming across as being like over serious or a bit stuffy or a bit boring, and there's a danger that you could come across as like nosy or opinionated, or so it's a minefield.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would say personally, avoid anything that's like controversial that has like two really strong sides that can
Yeah,
easily turn into like an argument or
yeah.
like this heated discussion.
Well,
Definitely are small talk no-nos.
anything that people have strong opinions about.
Yeah, religion. No, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, because this changes from country to country and it will be different for some of our listeners. What about in America? Say I get a cab, not a taxi. I get a cab, and what about asking people about their salary, about how much money they earn?
Oh my gosh, absolutely not. You would never. You shouldn't. So funny you say that because we're kind of talking about like small talk, and we said small talk is what we do not with friends. It's just like lighthearted stuff with like acquaintances, strangers, colleagues, people you're not really friends with, right?
Yeah.
I don't think salaries should even be really discussed, even among friends.
Wow.
I mean, it can happen and it's fine, but I know we have a really good couple friend, and she's American and he's Italian, and the two of us, me and my friend, like she and I have talked about salaries because we don't really care.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Her husband was like, oh, rude,
Mortified.
like don't talk about that. So I think it's something that should be avoided unless you absolutely know your friend will not mind because it's very personal.
Because if you get a taxi in Thailand, hello Thailand, hello our Thai listeners.
Hey, Thailand.
For me, it was like question number 3, maybe.
That they asked you?
Yeah. Where are you from? Maybe something about football, or what do you think of the country? And then straight into sort of like, how much do you earn? And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a cultural thing. Please don't take this as a criticism. It's just a different culture. And I must say, I mean, when I was there, I was paid kind of like more. I knew that I got paid more than the taxi drivers, and so I didn't want to say, because I thought this will be really embarrassing and it will be ugly, and I don't want to say that I get paid a lot because the taxi driver might feel. And in the end, I got asked so much, I just thought, you know what? Like, people keep asking me, I'm going to say. So I actually said how much I got paid, and the taxi driver said, oh, right, okay, yeah. I thought it would be around that. And it was absolutely nothing happened. It was absolutely fine. And it was only me who thought they were going to say, oh, you get paid that much, I don't get the, and there might be some sort of like, confrontation or, yeah. But actually, it was kind of always like, they would sort of think, I would say the number, and they'd think, oh, okay, that seems fairly reasonable. You are from England after all, and you are a teacher. I suppose you will get paid around that much. It was never this huge shock that I thought it would be.
Probably because it's something that they ask all the time. So you're probably not the first
Good point.
British English teacher that they talk to, I guess.
Good point.
Yeah, I would never talk about salary. Ooh, ouch.
I won't ask you.
Yeah. So let's get a little personal, shall we?
Sure, try me.
Have you ever been in a situation where small talk was necessary and you bombed? It was super awkward and super uncomfortable.
Nothing that springs to mind. I think I've got that kind of like gift, if I could, call it such a thing, of like keeping the conversation going. So it may be that it bombed for them, but honestly, I could talk until Christmas. I could talk till the cows come home. So no, maybe I'm sure maybe, but nothing that springs to mind where I dried up or I couldn't think of anything to say. You can have conversations with people that are incredibly awkward, and you're like a circle and they're like a square, it just doesn't work. But I can normally like bumble and like fumble my way through the whole thing. So not that I can think of. Because you've asked the question, I'm imagining that you have had this happen. No? Yes?
No, I mean, not one specific situation that was like, oh, that was so bad. But I would say in kind of an indirect recommendation to our listeners, I would say kind of the uncomfortable situation that I've encountered would be when I am the only one asking the questions in the small talk
Yeah.
and the person is just responding.
Yeah.
So definitely want to reciprocate a question, even a "what about you?" to make the conversation two-sided, because there's nothing worse than a one-sided conversation in a
No.
situation that you have to be together with someone.
Well, particularly if you know you're stuck. I think there's a thing like, if you're on, say, a 2-hour bus journey or, a 3-hour train journey, there is a little bit of small talk at the start where you just sort of like establish some sort of like, not relationship, but establish some contact with that person. So you chat for a little bit and then it's kind of okay, like you've spoken to each other and you've sort of broken the ice and you both feel comfortable that you're sitting next to each other. You don't have to, unless you want to, you can talk for the whole 2 hours. But after maybe 5 minutes or so, you can kind of like agree that that's enough, kind of. Yeah?
Yeah. I think that there are tons of methods or strategies or things that you should follow or you can follow to be good at small talk.
Yeah.
I mentioned like the Ford method.
Yeah.
There's another one called the ARE method, which encourages, actually the E stands for encourage, right?
Yeah.
A is for anchor. So you kind of give this like shared reality, something you have in common. R is you reveal something a little bit about yourself. You share something about you that relates to that anchor.
Oh, yeah.
To build a trust, because it's not like, oh, I'm going to just take information from you. Here's a little information about me to help you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And then E is for encouraging them. So to ask a question. So definitely it has to do with like finding a shared reality, making a statement about yourself, and then encouraging a question.
I've just made some notes. Can I have a go?
Yeah.
So me and you meet at the bus stop. This is in England, so you can guess what I'm going to talk about. So something like, let's see if this is right. So first of all, I just say, raining again, because it's always raining. And that is my A, which is my anchor. Then I say, I don't like the rain, which is revealing a little bit about myself. And then I say, what about you?
Perfect. I love it. I mean,
not the most scintillating conversation, but that's it, isn't it? Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, as you said, it's not like that. That whole thing is gonna be finished in about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Raining again, huh? I don't really like this weather. What about you?
Yeah.
It happens so fast that then the person's gonna respond, and who knows where that conversation could lead to.
Yeah. You could end up regretting ever
talking to the person.
Yeah. But
I promise you won't regret talking to me.
I'm sure. But can I say as well, the fact that there's so much literature around and methodology, you've already taught me about Ford, F-O-R-D, and R-A-R-E, just shows how difficult small talk is. If it was easy for everyone, then there wouldn't be any need for all of this sort of like literature and methodology. So it proves that people must really struggle. For me, it's like falling off a log. I can do small talk in my sleep, and it's something that I never think like, I'm good at small talk. But I think it's something that other people find really, really difficult.
Because it can be so difficult, do you want to do a couple more of these like role-playing mock situations to not only give our listeners some ideas of what they can do, but to give them even more real, natural language?
Love to.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Before we get into more real English practice for you, we'd like to tell you more about Italki. This episode is sponsored by Italki, an online language learning platform. You can learn online with real teachers in one-on-one personalized lessons, which are customized to you and your learning needs. Our Ponders, you get a buy one, get one special deal. So when you buy your first lesson, you get US $10 for future lessons. It's a convenient way to connect even more with real language, culture, and to practice speaking from the comfort of your own home, wherever you are in the world. Get your special deal from Italki on our website now. You can visit EnglishAcrossThePond.com and look for the italki picture to immediately sign up and take advantage of your deal today. Don't wait. Take your English skills to the next level.
All right. So let's get into some situations. Let's do a couple of different situations to give them variety with a couple of different methods. I would love to first start with imagining we're at work and we are going to do the R method, the ARE method.
Gotcha.
All right. So imagine we just got out of a meeting. The two of us are colleagues and we're both walking into the cafeteria or like we're going to get a glass of water.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Dan.
Hi, Jennifer.
That meeting was long today, huh?
You're not kidding.
I've never really been a fan of sitting through those things. I'd much rather be getting my hands dirty and actually working. Do you mind sitting through them?
I would rather stab myself in the head with a nail than sit through another meeting. I hate them.
Wow, you're feeling really passionate about that.
It's not just the meeting, it's his presentation style is just so boring.
I know, but what are we going to do, right?
Yeah, we're stuck there.
Yeah. All right, enjoy your day.
Yeah, you too. See you later.
Bye.
I can feel a relationship blossoming there.
So, yeah, maybe you'd scare the person off with saying you're going to stab yourself in the face.
Yeah, a little bit psychotic, I know. Yeah.
But we did the R method, R-A, anchor, that shared reality of both of us experienced that long meeting. So I kind of made a comment about it. I revealed a little bit about me. I don't like those meetings. I would much rather be doing blah. I'd much rather be getting my hands dirty, which means actually working. Yeah. Then I encouraged that question with Dan as in, hey, do you mind them? And then you could see the conversation could go into something a little more.
I think it's one of those things where maybe looking at small talk from the outside and looking in is actually a lot harder than actually doing it. And like once you get going and you think, oh, I'm going to ask a question, if it is difficult for anybody out there and you're thinking, oh, I'm doing small talk. As I say, I think it's maybe like swimming or something. Once you've sort of waved your arms around a little bit, once you've kind of replied and kind of asked a question, you think, this isn't so difficult. I can do this.
Yeah. Can I give you another situation?
Surely.
Okay, so imagine this situation. We're acquaintances, so we're a little bit more than strangers, but we're definitely not friends. Gotcha. And again, in this situation, we're going to use the Ford method, so you'll be able to identify which topic we're using.
I'm going to be super enthusiastic this time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan, what's up?
Dan, hi! Is that too much?
What's going on? No. What's going on?
Everything is brilliant, fantastic. Having a great day. How are you?
Oh, I'm so good. Work's going so well. I know you're an English teacher. Mm-hmm. Have you always wanted to be in that education field?
No, I plan to be an astronaut, but when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. Here I am teaching English and loving it.
Awesome. It's just great how life kind of steers us in the direction we need to be, right?
Indeed. Anyway, I've got to go. High five.
Bye. Doom.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously using the Ford, we hit the O topic, the topic of occupation. Mm-hmm. Because we're acquaintances and we're a little more than friends, I know what Dan does for work already, so I can typically ask a little bit of a deeper question to get a little bit more, underneath the surface. Mm-hmm. Not so superficial, we could say.
Yeah.
As always, we say this every time, but we could go on and on and on about this, couldn't we?
We could, and I'd like to just say, if I can, there may be a listener or listeners out there thinking, yeah, but you guys are teachers and this is really easy for you, and it's not so easy because you don't understand. Because do let us know, write and tell us, or, leave us an email or send us a message in the forum, and we'd love to hear about your problems, and then we can help you more.
Yeah. Another small, just tip for someone who is feeling a little bit frustrated, especially with the Ford method, talking about family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Create 2 questions for each of those topics to kind of have in your back pocket to use in the next conversation that you're in a situation that you need to talk a little bit more.
Great advice.
Yes. So remember, ponders, if you want a little bit more information about the language you heard today, definitions of vocabulary and expressions, you can download the episode guide for free and review the language you learned today. We are going to be joining you again next week because every Friday we have a brand new episode. So join us next Friday. We can't wait to connect with you. And thanks for joining us today.
I am now going to go out onto the street and just find someone and just start some small talk with them.
Record it and post it on Instagram.
I will do. Lovely talking to you. Thanks everyone for listening. It's been a fab episode. Small talk. See you next week, guys.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.